the Arizona desert, for centuries, it has been a site of struggle, of conflict, of survival. And on this hot, dry morning, new battle lines were being drawn. But this time, the arch rivals were machines. It has become the stuff of legend, this rich rivalry between red and green. Yet with every advance in technology, every stride in performance, the battle is given new life. So they came together this day, the Case IH Magnum 7200 series and the John Deere 8000 series, to see, once again, which held the upper hand. Gathered for this contest a group of farmers from across North America, many bringing extensive experience with both brands.
Yes, we tried an 8100. We put 100 hours on it last fall.
Well, truthfully, I'm gonna tell you, I've been running 5 4850 John Deeres, and in the last month we've sold all those and we've purchased 5 7250s.
Since 1972, we've run red and green tractors together and compared them for the last, whatever that is, 20-something years.
Yes, we tried the new Deere out. They've got a good tractor also.
We don't buy just because they're red or green. We look at price and what the tractor will do for us. And to be quite honest with you, we were interested in the new Deere, some of the changes they made. And so we ran one for several days on our farm, did some deep ripping, and we liked the tractor.
Set up and ballasted identically, 4 machines awaited the brutal task ahead. A Magnum 7220, a Deere 8100. A Magnum 7240 and a Deere 8300. Their burden, identically prepared, heavy two-way plows and massive offset discs. And as the Arizona sun seared the battleground, men and machine received the command they had come for. Let the games begin. Upon hour, the rivals worked the dry, dusty soil. And when the last acre was turned, it was opinions that were brought to the surface. There's no denying the strength of a first impression, and the John Deere 8000 series cab certainly makes a strong one. But was the price paid for increased visibility too high?
The first difference that I noticed going from the Magnum to this John Deere is the increased visibility in the Deere. I like that.
I'm going to have to compliment them a little. First, I do like the view. You know, they have what they call the wasp waste, and I do like that view.
The visibility is good. We're not in a row crop situation, so that's not as much of an important factor as maybe with some. But another thing is when you get your monitors in here, you're going to block off most of your area anyhow.
I think the bad part of it is they've narrowed this down so much that they've had to put all their gauges over here, which I don't particularly like. I think some of them could be there, but I think your fuel gauge, your oil gauge, your water temperature, you know, it should be here in front of you where you can see it.
I just found myself pulling my line of sight from where it needs to be, which is most of the time straight ahead or straight back. When you're looking at your implement or you're looking at where you're going, you know, everything is off to your right.
With all the gauges and everything on this side, that was a little different too. It's nice to be able to see the wheels, but it's kind of hard to look back over this way each time and spot what you're looking for.
Suddenly, the Deere's new cab design appeared vulnerable. Compared to the proven Magnum cab, were there other shortcomings in the Deere cab?
They don't have an exhaust temperature gauge on here either, which is an important thing, which, as I understand it, it's not an option even.
The pyrometer is the thing that really stands out in my mind that they left out in the John Deere. And We depend almost as much on exhaust temperature in operation of our tractors as we do tachometers.
And everything is more or less an awkward reach for me. The hands up, or it's either going to be a thumb-operated thing. With the Magnum, everything's close beside, right down the side of the tractor, and they don't move away from you.
I prefer the Magnum seat. I think I got a better ride and much better positioning. Saying that I don't get the support on the upper back on the seat here.
We're getting some drivetrain noise or something. This cab definitely isn't as quiet as the Magnums.
The Magnum was definitely
Quieter
a
tractor.
quieter tractor. There was a whine in the deer that may not bother all people, but it bothered me.
I had a little trouble getting the door closed on the John Deere. It's heavy.
I like the door a lot better in the Magnum, the fact that it's an easy reach and it's easier to shut than a Deere.
Already. And, just from being out here and using in the field, things are starting to peel and wear away and that type of thing. And it seems like a bunch of plastic for me for a tractor. When I got in this tractor, I felt like it was a lot smaller tractor, even though they're about the same horsepower, but I felt like it was a lot smaller tractor. I just get in the Magnum, I feel like it's a tractor.
The first and most obvious battle was over. The Deere cab had drawn first blood, but the backlash had been fierce, and it appeared the showdown was just beginning. Round 2 began the moment each farmer laid hand on the shifter. While the Magnum was equipped with its proven 18-speed power shift, the Deere featured a radically new electronic 16-speed power shift. And after hours of high-load, full-throttle power shifts and subtle, low-speed direction changes, there was no shortage of opinions.
The shifter location I like better on the John Deere, but the way the transmission works I like much better on the Magnum. The Magnum is a very smooth shift. The John Deere depends on what gear you're going to. Some are smooth, some are not, and we're told that they can't adjust that out of it. It's the way the transmission is built. And the more load, the more severe the jolt, and slowing down, detenting through the gears seems to me to be worse, which that's a problem they're gonna have to solve.
The biggest thing I noticed with the shift was I think it was between 6th and 7th, there's an awful gap in speed range. And it's quite a jerk, especially like when you're plowing stuff, you got her in the ground pretty good. There's an awful sudden jerk on her.
I don't like the shifting quality of the green one at all. You've got too much hesitation, too much, from 1st to 6th is very, very erratic and rough. After you get to 6 and get a load on it, it's pretty decent, but you still got every once in a while, you've got an erratic shift in it. You don't know which one it's allowed to be. And your Magnum is the same shift every time. You know what to expect out of it.
The John Deere basically is a rougher shifting tractor. There's a little pause in between. I think it's between 6th and 7th gear that you don't know if you're going to go right away or if it's going to stop. It's got a real good philosophy, but you haven't got very much for shifting levers. So you've got very small radius to shift here.
Not super wild about the finger toggles. I think I'd rather have something that I grab hold of. I know where I'm at, which lever I've got a hold of, as opposed to something down where you feel maybe like you're playing a video game.
I felt more comfortable with having a hold of a lever instead of bumping a little button up there.
On the Magnum, when you reach, if I want to know, I can reach and grab a hold of the gear shift and know that I'm approximately in 8th gear. Right there, I grabbed it, and I am 8th gear. It's a feel you get from the tractor on the Deere. You have to look for a number. You don't exactly know what gear you're in until you do look.
Handy. Just seem to be able to find it without looking.
I like the Magnums where I know what gear it's in without looking around trying to figure out what gear I'm in. I can tell by the feel what gear I'm in.
The skirmish was over, but the questions had just begun. Were the small controls of the Deere an innovation or an invitation to trouble? As the day wore on, the challenge of working with two-way plows brought an important issue to the forefront. How do the controls of the two brands compare? Specifically, the hydraulics and throttle, which are positioned conventionally in the Magnum, and set into the new control arm device of the deer.
Personally, I like this layout, but it is electric over hydraulic. How dependable is that going to be? My Magnum, if all I have is a cable running my hydraulic remotes. That breaks, I know how to fix it, I can fix it in the field. It's a minor breakdown. This electric switch breaks down, that's not going to be so minor, and I'm going to have problems.
You know, I like the bigger hydraulic levers. I'm not saying they got to be this big, but I don't like the little short ones that Deere has. I think they went too far that way.
This is basically a good idea, but when you're running these buttons, it's awful easy to get over into the wrong cylinder.
I like a lever that you can, grab a hold of and have some feel to feather with.
It's not that easy to find that throttle linkage. Emergency standpoint from a tractor, you need something to be able to damn near stop it just like that.
This, I think, is probably a good idea, on the console here. But for me, and I guess this is, it'd be up to different people. What one guy likes, maybe another guy. The little throttle is just too little. The little shifter is, he's just awful tiny for me.
Again, the ingenuity of the Deere was dealt a surprising blow. But as the showdown passed the midpoint, the next round promised to put high tech behind, because round 4 was about power. With the equipment running deep and the soils varying drastically, the torque rise and recovery capabilities of these engines were brought to center stage.
The Cummins engine has more lugging power, you can tell that. She stays right with it.
If you do lug the Magnum down, it'll recover much faster than the Deere will.
It's one thing nice about the Magnum. If you get into a hard spot or something where it's got to lug down work a bit, it'll kick right in and work there. The John Deere, it never seemed to really have a good solid RPM. It would start dropping off and drop and back up again. And
You get into the lug situation, the Deere is greatly improved over what it was, but it is not equal to that Cummins engine yet.
There's no comparison. The Magnum just burns a lot less fuel and does just as much work.
Yeah, this last summer we had the 8400 with a 6-bottom plow against a 7250 with a 6-bottom plow also, and the difference in the fuel was 10 gallons difference per day, more on the 8400 than the 7250.
On the same applications, we find we save about 10 gallons of fuel a day with the Magnum.
Well, yeah, it saves you some money.
Yeah.
Of course, a single day does not determine a tractor's true reliability and durability. What had the Magnum proven to these owners over years past?
I've been running Magnums for 8 years since they come out. They come out in 1988, and reliability's been excellent.
We're approaching 15,000 hours on our oldest one, and we've never had the drivetrain apart on it.
The power that the tractor has maintained is in perfect conditions. I mean, it just works beautiful.
I really can't think of any problems that we've ever had with any of our Magnums. We've had 5 of them.
These tractors are built. They're built to last. They're built to go to the field. They're built to stay in the field.
I guess we felt comfortable with the Magnums. We knew what they do fuel consumption wise. I guess they're proven. The Magnum's been out 8 years. It's a proven commodity. Deere, I think, has got a good tractor, and in a couple years it'll be a proven commodity too. But when we're out there trying to plant corn or cultivate or whatever, I don't want to be the guy that gets all the bugs out of that new tractor for them.
While they all agreed that the Magnum engine brought the most to the party, several testers were even more concerned about a crucial feature that the Deere left behind.
There's no shutoff on this if the oil pressure ever drops.
You get the chaff on the screen, and of course you're looking backwards because of the pull-type combine, and first of all you'll hear the audible alarm go off, but then she kills her, and there's no way of getting into trouble that way.
This switch has saved us a lot of problems. I think it's a good feature.
As far as the shutdown goes, I mean, it's like we were talking about earlier. I mean, I don't think the tractor should be built without one.
The critical engine round was finished, and this time, the decision was even more clear. The showdown was taking on a very red edge. The setting of the showdown was not a friendly place. The tractors would encounter 14 inches of loose soil one moment and unforgiving hard pack the next. What better place to test steering and traction?
Oh yeah, you're probably in some of the toughest dirt you're going to see. This ground don't freeze, you know, and you got to work it to death, real basically. And everyone thinks Arizona's sand, but it's not.
When I was pulling the disc in that loose ground, I could kick the mechanical front out and the John Deere would almost spin out. The Magnum would keep going. I could not pull the disc without the mechanical front on the green one in the loose, and I could with the Magnum.
Well, I noticed the discs, I shut the front wheel assist off on both tractors and almost stuck the John Deere. Fact is, I really did I flipped it back on before he did stick, but the 7220 he kept on going. Not as fast, but he kept going.
With the offset disc, I felt that the John Deere wandered a lot. Just wanted to kind of squeamish around the field a lot.
I noticed we were in very soft dirt on the other side, and the front end I was oversteering on the John Deere because it was felt like it was floating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just kind of ride in that loose dirt.
That's one of the things we really noticed when we got the Magnums. How good they steered.
The Magnum definitely has a better feel on the steering than the John Deere did. John Deere, to me, this is more like back to our old 4020, where you didn't know where your front wheels were. It was loose. You seemed to work harder on to keep it where you wanted it.
When the dust settled, it appeared the Arizona desert had claimed another victim, the handling and traction capabilities of the Deere 8000 series. As these rivals slugged it out in the heat and dust, placing filters, belts, and fluids under tremendous stress, another vital question arose. How does the serviceability of the two brands compare?
We like our Magnum for serviceability. It's a simple tractor for us to maintain and operate.
I have to agree that there's very little service needed on them tractors, and the main reason we drive one is durability.
Easy service accessibility on the case is much better than it is over the John Deere, and I was very much surprised at how hard it was to service that John Deere. You think you can take that hood off by yourself?
No.
I don't either.
Not unless I was allowed to.
That's what, if you don't care about skinning it up.
Yeah. What we want you to do is go up and just toot the horn about 3 times when you've got your hood open or off and the side panels open, right? So you 2 fellas are going to take care of the Magnum. You 3 fellas are going to take care of the Deere.
We figure that's fair.
Let's go.
We're ready.
Okay. Ready? Go.
Go. Now don't forget to unhook this wire.
Get all them hoses out of the way. Looks like we're going to a rat race or something.
You got 2 bolts up front. You got to get on.
I think this whole piece
has to come off. These bolts.
That there just won't give up.
You know what? This is cute little deal.
Oh, quit blowing your horn. I believe they're going to have to get the dealer to do that. That's going to be about $42 an hour, isn't it? Yeah. They got 3 men there taking an hour. Let's see, that's $126 worth.
The long, grueling day was nearly complete. Yet as the interviews wound down, a larger question remained. Did the participants feel the showdown was a fair comparison?
This is, I'd say, a true test, yes.
You're under same ideal conditions, ideal implements. You can't do a fair comparison. And with them both ballast up the same and both same horsepower, it's got to be a good comparison.
Putting them side by side like that in the same conditions, it seemed to be about as comparable as you could get.
Especially jumping out of one and getting right into the other one, as opposed to, at homes a lot of times a dealer will bring a tractor out and you'll work a little bit of ground, and a few days later another dealer may have one available and you can bring it out and try it out. It's nice to be out here where you can jump right out of one and into another one and put them through the exact same conditions.
This is the right thing to do. Get farmers out here and look at it.
Both brands had been pushed to the edge. The operators had drawn their conclusions. In the overall assessment, could the Deere 8000 series stage a miracle comeback? or would the Magnum 7200 series hold its lead?
My personal opinion is that the Magnums are very simple. I mean, they don't have all those gadgets that you have to play with.
The first thing I noticed, like I said, going from the Magnum to the Deer, you get in and the first thing you see is, wow, you've got all this space, but then then I look for my gauges and they're not there. You know, here all my gauges were here, and you think about it, the only visibility you're gaining is right behind your front tires, and we don't cultivate with the tractor, so it's not really that big a deal for us.
We've just been so satisfied with the Magnums. We have not had any, what you call serious breakdowns. We've had the minors, you know, but especially for the applications we use them on, we're just extremely satisfied.
Going to the Magnum over the Deer was the fact that, you know, we could see where resale on the Magnum is up, you know, in good shape. And that's a, you know, a big thing when you go to purchase a tractor.
That's what I think. The reason that the resale value finally got as good as Deer or better was because when you buy it secondhand, it's still as good as it was when I bought it firsthand.
You know, before you think, well, did I make the right choice? Did I drive it enough? Did I compare enough? And today I really felt like I did.
After trading in Deer tractors and coming out here today, I'm much more convinced that I did the right thing when I purchased our 7250s.
The verdict was in, and the showdown was over. After going head-to-head in the heat of the Arizona desert, farmer after farmer had preferred the Magnum tractor. While the Deer had made significant technological strides, it was still unable to match the proven performance and pure workability of the Magnum. Bottom line, there is simply no substitute for the years of refinement and millions of work hours that have made the Magnum tractor the world's finest. If you need more proof, all you have to do is ask an owner.